Well, you're joining us just as we're joining the junction 28 of the M1 motorway, where we'll be going southbound a couple of junctions to test how good the enhanced autopilot is. When we get on the slip road, we will be engaging navigating autopilot, see how it copes, if indeed it does. There's the arsehole. Save dashcam. Oh dear. Save dashcam.
In 500 feet, take the M1 right. Now take the M1 right.
That was the first fail. Autopilot refused to join the motorway. No surprise there, because it's never actually managed it. You see, it wants me to actually change lane, but I've got a solid, or rather a red warning lane. Couldn't possibly change lanes because it wouldn't let me. That's another thing. Why bother saying to change lanes if it's not going to do it? It really only needs to be recommending a lane change when it knows it can do it. Okay, so it's successfully negotiated that one okay. We're out of the restriction zone now, so I will slowly increase the speed up to something that's maybe a little bit okay. That lane change, perfectly fine. It wants me to do it again. So off we go. The car immediately begins to speed up to overtake. Which is fine. Now the question is, will the car want to move to the left? Yes, it does. So let's just see. That was beautifully executed as well. But then again, it should be, because there's no vehicles behind me or to the side of me. So that's what I would expect. The issue is when there are vehicles to the back of me and the side of me, and it still wants you to do it. don't see the point in that. And of course the on-ramps and off-ramps. Absolute diabolical. They've really not got that right at all, as we'll probably see later on. So we're coming up on that box van. The car obviously wants to move across, so that it can overtake. Will it want to move back in? Yes, it will indeed want to move back in, so I'm going to let it. Of course, it's not seen the little red sports car in front yet, so the chances are it's going to want to pull out again if we catch it up. Now it's moved out of the way, so wants to move left, but I honestly don't see the point, because I'm coming up on a van. The van's moved left, and I'm coming up on it, so but of course the beautiful thing about it is I have to authorise the move. I don't know how it would go on in the States, because what would happen is I'd have moved to the left, caught him up, and then had to move right back where I was again. So I don't know if that's a limitation of how far the camera can see in front, or whether it's an issue with the algorithm. I'm not sure what it is. Out of the passing lane. But again, there's not really much point, because I'm actually catching the guy up in the left hand lane. Yeah, and now of course he wants me to go to the other lane. So does he. Now what's going to happen here? Okay, so what we've got here, we've got what we call elephant races, where you've got 3 lorries all jostling for an inch of space. One of the lorries is right on the line. And the car actually did that beautifully. There was a time when the car would actually slam its anchors on if a large vehicle got too close to its white line, even without crossing it. Now I'm not sure if it's because at 70 miles an hour it disables that. I'm not sure, but it does seem to be not doing that anymore. And I've not taken any kind of update, so guy in the black Ford there. Settings I've got on at the moment is standard for power and Mad Max for lane changes. And I've done that simply because as I have to authorise changes, I would rather it suggest them and I choose not to take them, as opposed to if I was in the States and it was going to take the lane changes anyway, I would have it on a less aggressive decision making. So far on this trip, I've actually had no phantom braking at all. Now, I don't know if that's speed related or not, I don't know. On our way back, we'll come back in a slower lane and we'll see between 50 and 60 miles an hour, and we'll see what actually happens on that situation. Whether or not it's got an and a logarithm that says, okay, over a certain amount of speed, we're not going to do that because it's so very dangerous. I don't know, we'll see. It's windy out today, I'll tell you that for nothing. Oh, phantom braking. Woo! Bug report, phantom braking, motorway dangerous. So the guy in front's a bad driver. He likes to wander around in his lane, getting close to the white line. I don't know why he didn't do it for the lorry. No idea. But okay, so what's happening is right there I had to disengage because it simply would not move over. It requested the lane change to follow route. I got the little square on the road, and it would not move over. In fact, the harder I turned the wheel to make it move over, it simply just disengaged. So, you know, they've really got to look at this. So notice how it wanted me to change lanes when there was a lorry in the way. Well, that makes all the sense, doesn't it? And this is the problem with it. It's extremely hit and miss. Okay, so it did that beautifully. We're now in the lane with about half a mile to go before we come off. Now, that's going to be interesting. Will it take the off-ramp? And when it does, will it select the correct lane to go in when we enter the off-ramp? I wish I had a lot of confidence. Yes, it is. Okay, and I have to be careful. It's, look, whoa. It's all over the shop and it disconnected itself. For some bizarre reason, it wants to come in this right-hand lane, then it wanted to swerve into the left, and then it wanted to swerve into the right. Which, now I'm going to have to disconnect because there's a guy coming up my backside. All that could have been avoided. And that could have been avoided quite simply by selecting the correct lane in the first place, which it's absolutely failed to do. Now this guy behind me is an Audi driver, and he just wants to plough in and get in front of anything that's in front of him. So I'll re-engage and see if it takes the correct off-ramp again. indicating left. The car has taken the off ramp. It's moving over correctly. Whoa! Okay, it probably would have done it, but not at that speed. It was extremely all over the road. You probably didn't see it, but it wanted to swerve to the right, which was going to be correct. Then it got frightened and swerved to the left. Then it wanted to swerve to the right, and at that point, just the weight of my hands on the wheel actually disengaged it. So there's quite a bit of work to be done on this enhanced autopilot. I can only assume that it's had no major updates in the last 5 years. But pretty much what you've got now is what you've probably always had. Just as buggy, just as bad. I'm really hoping that when Elon decides to bring full self-drive to the UK, which I understand it's not a legislation thing, they've actually approved it now, because this is not really full self-drive, it's only a driver assisted. Full self-drive is allegedly going to be allowed in 2026. It's now 2025, so the answer, I've got some work to be done. I don't know if I honestly don't know if submitting bug reports actually does anything. It wouldn't surprise me if you didn't. You know, they probably just humour you. You know, it probably goes into a huge stack that they're all going to look for. You know, look through later on in the year to fix. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's a bit rich of them to charge what they do for the system when it's just so not good enough. I mean, it can't even do what it says it's supposed to be able to do on the tin. And it's not even hard. You know, we're talking about lane changes really and on and off ramps, and that's it. But anyway, that was enhanced autopilot. Well, thank you for joining me on this drive, such as it was, and hopefully I will continue to make more videos like this in the future. If there's, well, A, if this one actually turns out, and B, if there's anything else I feel I can add.